Hey everyone, I'm here with a 2022 Subaru Outback Limited, and this is the new car for my wife. If you guys remember, we had the 2018 Outback 2.5i Touring. Well, we actually sold that for about almost $2,000 more than we bought it for. We bought it back in Michigan when we lived there, and now that we're back in more of the upper Midwest region, a little farther west, we decided to trade it in for almost $2,000 more than we bought it for and pick up one of these for actually under MSRP. We got a really good deal on it because we had a Subaru loyalty discount as well as a discount through work because they're my work's a Subaru partner. So we were able to get this car for under MSRP out the door with taxes and everything. So this car stickers for just over $37,000, $37,003, and we got it for under $36,900 out the door with tax, title, license, and all fees. So it was a great deal. It's 4 years newer, came with only 6 miles on the odometer versus 50,000 on the Outback when we traded it in. And we actually traded it into CarMax. We got offers from Carvana, Vroom, CarMax, CarGurus, and CarMax came out ahead and gave us, I think it was $1,900 more than what we bought it for back in 2020. So, and today is January 24th, 2022. We've had this car for almost 2 months. We took delivery on it November 29th, 2021, and it's an absolutely frigid day out here, but it's great to have the Outback in these super snowy conditions in January. So we'll just take a look around. This is the crystal black silica exterior. It's a metallic black colored paint. Comes with 18-inch alloy wheels. This is not a touring, this is a limited, so it doesn't have like the chrome accents on the mirrors, the door handles, or the roof rails. But there's a lot of just general improvements with this versus the 2018 we had before. It has a larger interior screen, which I'll get to in a minute. Has EyeSight 3.0, which is just improved over the 2.0 system in the 2018 Outback. LED fog lights are standard for 2022 on limited trims and up, which was an option on limited for 2021 and 2020. LED swiveling headlights, incandescent turn signals, or so non-LED turn signals front and rear, but LED brake lights, LED headlights, LED DRLs, fog lights, 18-inch wheels. These are the limited and touring 18-inch wheels, and they have Yokohama Vid GT all-season tires, which I've been pleasantly surprised by the grip. Usually OEM tires, and not knocking Yokohama too much, but Yokohama, typically not like a top tier, usually Pirelli or Michelin are a little bit better in terms of their grip from OEM tires. So Yokohama is not exactly known to be the best, but they are pretty grippy. They get really good fuel economy and low rolling resistance. And looking into the back, limited trim has a few items that the touring trim had for 2018. This does not have the brown interior, but we took the floor mats out of the 2018 Outback and just plopped those in here. So now we got floor mats from the old Outback front and rear, and then the new car, this car, came with a trunk mat already as standard on the limited, so that's really nice. This has heated rear seats, USB outlets in the back for charging your phone, and has vents back there for heat and air conditioning. That has LED dome lights in the front row, but they're halogen or incandescent, I should say, dome lights in the back. This car doesn't have any ambient lighting, but you can get LED ambient lighting as an accessory that's dealer installed, but we didn't think it was worth it on this car. But we got black on black. Doesn't come with the option of tan interior or brown interior that the touring has, but it does have auto up and down windows for all 4 windows, which is nice. That used to be a touring specific thing on the previous generation, so limiteds and above have that now, which is really great. Same 2.5 liter 4-cylinder as before. So let's open the hood and take a quick look under there. Hood release is in the same spot as usual, right here close to the A-pillar. So pull that. Harman Kardon surround sound audio system with a subwoofer. Sounds really good. I don't know if it's quite as good as the 2018 and 2019 Outback Limiteds and Tourings, but it's nearly as good. The other downside, actually, is that it no longer has hood struts. Now it has a prop rod for 2021 and 2022, which is kind of a shame. This newer generation, even the higher trims don't have the hood struts, so that's kind of a cost save measure, but it's not a huge deal. I mean, you just open up the hood for service, and it's not like a door on the exterior of your car, it's just the hood. So not a big deal there. Same 2.5 liter engine, flat 4, direct injection, no port injection, so this is just one injector per cylinder, so it could be prone to carbon buildup, but it's not a turbo. It uses full synthetic oil with changes every 6,000 miles. Really good serviceability as usual. Yeah, lots of working room. You can actually see the ground back there, so in terms of serviceability, this thing is really good. So shut this up. Let's take a look inside, just as a little tour before we wrap this video up. It also has a driver monitoring system. Here, I'll go to the side, but it says welcome. And actually this is package 34, which includes the sunroof, the navigation system built in, and the driver monitoring system, which actually does facial recognition to set your memory seats, mirrors, and presets in the infotainment system. Like I said, auto up and down windows for all four, and the memory seats now are linked to the mirrors. The old car did not have them linked to the mirrors, so you'd always have to change your mirrors if you had multiple drivers. These steering wheel controls are no longer gloss black, which I like because these are big touch points, and I think the matte finish is a little more modern than bright glossy black. But otherwise, it's pretty much the same steering wheel with revised stitching and a slightly more matte colored steering wheel. So it's just a little more modern looking in a lot of regards. You can actually tell, surprisingly, in the sunlight. It's really hard to see at night, but you can see that there's some stitching fray here. It might be just some hair off the stitching, but that's kind of interesting that that's frayed a little bit there. So it's not the best. That's the only thing I've found wrong with this car so far. We'll start it up, and a lot of people don't think about this, but this car does not turn off the radio or turn off like interior lighting systems or gauges or anything like that when you start up the car. It keeps all of it on, so it doesn't cut power, which is nice because it doesn't disturb like what you're doing. But I think if the battery's low, it uses the intelligent battery sensor to turn off electronics if the battery was low on charge. So we'll give it a start. You can tell like the chime and the radio will turn on as the engine's starting, which is common with a lot of European cars and some American cars, and Japanese are starting to do it now as of a couple years ago. So we'll start it up. And you guys might see that flashing on the screen, but I don't see flashing in real time, so you don't really see that. But yeah, this 11.6 inch screen is absolutely massive. Biggest downside is that they didn't cut off the screen right here and just make it a little smaller and put little knobs for the climate control system and hard buttons. Instead, it's all built in the screen, which is a little bit of a shame, because if I want to turn on my heated seat, I press that, and then there's a delay. And then you can turn up and down your temperature here, or you can use the hard buttons on the side, and then it times out after a little bit, but you can turn on your heated seat here as well. So I wish that a few more buttons, especially the heated seat buttons, had just been put like here for the driver and up there for the passenger. That would have been like a minimum thing instead of having the heated seat controls in here. I would have preferred that instead of leaving some blank space here, which is kind of unnecessary. Otherwise, I think this interior is an upgrade over the previous generation. It just has a more modern feel, more, I don't know, black and metallic trim and some gloss black in a few areas. You definitely notice that gloss black a lot more in these newer cars, but other than the door handles, you really don't touch a lot of the gloss black. And then if you're interacting with the screen, it's only on the sides that they'd be gloss black. So Car makers do it because it's inexpensive and it looks modern. I think the biggest sore point is actually the shifter, because this is going to get tons of fingerprints and scratches from fingernails and my, wedding ring or other things that are going to be touching that. So that's probably the biggest no-no for gloss black in the car. But other than that, it's nice. It has a frameless mirror now, rear view mirror. I think the 2018 and newer Outbacks had that before, which was a plus. Like I said, it has LED dome lights up here. It's kind of hard to tell. Those are LEDs. Footwells are LED lit, but the back row and the trunk cargo area are all incandescent bulbs. So, and same thing with the mirrors here. They are incandescent. So, standard size sunroof. There's no panoramic roof available on the Outback for this generation, which I think Subaru should think about doing, because a lot of competitors are. You now have mirrors that are a little bit higher than the old ones. It's built into what they call the outer belt trim, which is the surround, the daylight opening surrounds that's built into the chrome that's on the outside of the car. And then the same exact blind spot monitoring system is on the mirror, so that's a plus. It has auto up and down windows, like I said, and they'll actually slow down as they approach the bottom, if you can tell that. And then they actually have a soft stop right there, so when you open and close the door, that the window doesn't rattle. So the inner and outer belt seals here will actually clamp down on the window to keep it from rattling when you open and close the door. When I shut it, see how it slows down right before the last inch there? Lexus kind of pioneered that back in like 06, 07, and then it's kind of spread to more cars, from especially in the Japanese realm. So that's kind of a plus. You don't get that slam when the window goes there, and arguably creates a slightly better seal. And unless you get a turbo model of the Outback, you now have just standard tempered glass. You don't have laminated glass like all the Outbacks did from 2018 to 2019. Now only the turbo models have the laminated glass in the front row. So that might be a shame, depending on what you think about that. But I think overall, even without the laminated glass, the car is definitely quieter than the last car, than the 2018 that we had before. So, and the engine's more refined, road noise is less, wind noise is less. It's just overall a more pleasant, more comfortable riding, sorted car. So we'll step out and we'll wrap up this video. Has a really nice solid door sound. Yeah, you can't even hear the latch, which is a huge plus to me. A lot of times you hear the little click when you hit the door latch. I don't even hear it on these cars, so that's really a positive. It beeps because I have the key in my pocket and the engine's on, but as you can tell, there's a slight tick from the direct fuel injection, but it's so minor, especially when the engine's warmed up. They've done a really good job of isolating the engine and noise, vibration, and harshness. So for 37 grand, that's about $11,000 less than what the average car goes for, new car goes for in January 2022. So for 37 grand, I think this is a fantastic deal for what you're getting. It's just not a super fast car, but it easily gets 29 to 30 miles per gallon on the highway doing 75 miles an hour. And it does 0 to 60 a little over half a second quicker than the old 2.5 liter port injection engine. So, and the car is about 20 pounds lighter, so not much of a weight difference, but just a touch lighter. So that's kind of the new car in the family fleet. This is my wife's new car, 2022 Outback Limited 2.5i. And I'll be making more videos to come on this for many more miles to come. So stay tuned. Please place any questions or comments in the section below, and talk to you later.